Hi, everyone. It's Miss K. I want to go over how to access the response paper support materials in this on-campus section of HUM 1900. The first place you want to start is the syllabus. And there is an overview of the assignment there. Please start by reading that. Then we'll go into D2L, into the content area. We'll start with the week 2 module. This is the first week that we have a response paper assigned. And you'll see that in every single weekly module, the tabs will be set up in the exact same way. And if we click here on support materials, this is where we will find response paper support materials. Some of these materials you want to look at every time you sit down to write a paper, and others you might want to look at once or twice during the semester. We'll start with the writing about film critically video. You can watch that video, or if you want to access the same information in PDF format, you can open the PDF of the same name. The tips and expectations for response papers PDF is something that I suggest you look at every time you sit down to write your paper. It goes over the proper file formats. There's a 10-item checklist. There's a 10-item tip list or tip sheet. And then finally, there is an example of a response paper for what it should look like in form and content. All of the response questions for the entire semester can be found in the support materials tab as well, and also at the end of each lecture. I know this isn't an English class, but I find sometimes borrowing from English just to remind students what's expected in a critical essay. So these resources come from an English program, but they do a really good job of going over what a thesis statement is, how to set one up, make sure that it's clear, what not to do, and then also how to set up a conclusion. So this is something that you might not have to look at every single time you sit down to write a response paper. But if you need a little refresher about what's expected in the introduction and conclusion of your paper, I think it's a really good resource to have. I'm logged on as a student, so this view that I have here is the same one that you'll have when you log on to D2L. I just want to show you one more place that you can access the support materials on D2L, and that's in the assignments tab. When a response paper is open, it will be clickable. So we're just going to click here and open up the first one. Some of those expectations from the syllabus will be listed here as well. In addition to that writing critically about film video, it's also attached here. Also, at the very top of this folder and in each folder, you'll find a link back to the support materials that we just looked at. So starting with review the support materials for the response paper in the weekly module before submitting your paper. If for some reason you didn't do that, click here and it's going to redirect you back to the appropriate weekly module and the support materials that I just went over with you here. I understand that this class has a learning curve if you're a student who hasn't taken an online class before or used D2L extensively. But I do think having these support materials on D2L for easy access every time you sit down to write a response paper should be really helpful. I thank you for watching. Until next time, have a productive week.